not what I want to do in my business. I want to rank products and help people make money. Amazon just generally doesn't want you to win. It's very easy to run an ad on Amazon, but it's very hard to run an ad profitably. And that's exactly where Stone's Good steps in. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a very special episode. A new friend of the show, Cody Schneider, is here. Cody, how you doing?
John, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, same here. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. A lot when it comes to e-commerce growth hacking. Honestly, my mind was blown before we even hit record. So we're going to get into it. But before we do, can you give the audience just like a quick overview of who you are and kind of what you're up to in the world?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So right now, I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Graph.com. It is a AI data analyst for business growth. Basically, you plug in all of your data sources. We function as the data pipeline, the data warehouse, and then we build out what's called ontology. It's just this VC bingo term that you hear Alex Karp go on and on about on every basically earnings call when he's talking about Palantir. All it means is understanding the underlying tabular data so that an AI can navigate it. And then you can basically use us to build charts, dashboards, reports, or just have a conversation with your data and ask really broad questions like how many people went to my website on iOS devices last week from Facebook ads and Google ads, and what's the ROAS on those people, and it will be able to answer those types of questions. So historically, background, started in e-com, was really early in print on demand, like drop shipping, made a lot of money there, lost, spent even more. Then ended up at a digital marketing agency specializing in B2B, sold windows and doors for manufacturers. It's these silent billion-dollar companies that nobody talks about. My boss there was an ex-startup founder, had gone through Y Combinator, and basically kind of learned everything I know from him. His name's Jeff Reynolds. He's the GOAT. And then, from there, got into B2B software and been doing that for the last, 7 years of my life. And that's kind of the origin. So it's always funny to see how people get into my world. It's always some version of that exact same thing where it's I was doing something degenerate. I lost everything. I had somebody mentor me, and then somehow I ended up in B2B SaaS. So
that is very funny, but not at all surprising, man. Okay, one thing before we get into some of the hacks, I tweeted at when ChatGPT, I first started using ChatGPT, started playing with AI and stuff, and started building dashboards on Looker because it kind of opened up a new venue for me. It's like, oh, I don't need to be technical to start building pretty intense stuff on Looker. I remember tweeting at Google and being like, when are you guys going to integrate AI features into Looker? This is a home run. And nothing has changed on this platform since I started using it 3.5, 4 years ago. And I've been thinking to myself,
it's gotten worse, man. You literally can't select the date range in it right now. If you kind of scroll down to the bottom, the date window is below the pane. So you can't even select, if you select a fixed date range and try to hit the save button, it will not, you can't do it. You have to zoom out in the dashboard to be able to, it's insanity. So I just think it's an afterthought for them. They look at it, as an acquisition that they did. They are, I don't think it's the priority currently. They're also in just dire straits mode because they're worried about basically their biggest revenue generator, which is ads, being cannibalized by all of these other startups that are coming into the market. But anyway, yes, this is actually I've used Looker for 6+ years since its origin. I used it with a combination with Supermetrics as an example. It is just crazy how much of a pain it is, and also just the learning curve on it is so dramatic, right? It's so, especially with client work, it's so powerful to have hey, here's this dashboard that I can tell a narrative and a story over, and the fact that it takes 60 hours to become competent, and the BI tool is insane. That learning curve is just, it's way too high. And I think there's a lot of opportunity with all of this AI tooling to reshape this entire industry. So
yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw Graft, what people don't know about this show is a lot of the really interesting people I get on here, I get them by cold emailing them over and over and over again. And Cody was no exception. It's not like he has nothing else going on, So
no, man, I'm literally hit me right at the right time. So I have a podcast campaign that I'm running for the next 6 months. So I'm trying to go on 100 shows. Should be chilling. I got booked on 6 already. I just started the cold email campaign for it yesterday. So Yeah, I basically I can walk through if whoever's listening wants to do this. You go and you scrape. It's called Raphonic. They have an API endpoint. You can go and extract all of the contact information of all the shows that you want to get on. You cold email them basically with like a proposal of why they should have you. All podcasts want is to be able to grow bigger. They want like a larger audience. So if you come to them and if you have like some type of email newsletter or a social audience, you basically pitch them as like podcast guest inquiry, 50,000 followers on Twitter, 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, and then basically say you'll cross promote if you come on the show. And you'll get a response rate of like 3 to 5% on those. And then basically just like knock them out. I just have an AI agent that runs this for me. So it's just doing this in the background and basically books me on these shows and books the discovery calls. And then, that's the whole play. But it's a super effective way to build like brand authority, especially if you're in a service business role. This is like one of the easiest and most effective ways to do it. So
Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, look, let's get into the e-commerce hacks. You see a lot of different things. And when we were talking offline, you were talking a lot about some of the interesting stuff that you've seen on TikTok Shop. I mean, everyone in the Amazon game is very interested in what's happening with TikTok Shop. So I'd love to hear the first big hack you were talking about because I have not even heard of it.
yeah, totally. So I have a friend that runs a TikTok shop agency. Like he basically like has imagine an arsenal of creators that they can deploy into like a campaign for a company. So a lot of the times what they do is beauty brands will approach them. They're like, hey, we want to promote this like offer. And then, he goes and deploys 1,000 creators to all start posting about this offer simultaneously. So the game is you're basically trying to game the TikTok shop top algorithm of payouts. When that happens, what occurs is you get this knock-on effect where when you hit the top charts, more creators that you're not paying will go and make videos about that. And so it makes you climb the charts even faster. It's gotten really competitive. This was like way more effective, 6 months ago. But the same
Mm,
strategy, still works. So the idea here is you're actually not trying to, this only really works for like, high margin products or like stuff that has repeat purchases. But the repeat purchase companies is what he specializes in, and what their strategy ends up looking like is they basically are trying to break even on that on that purchase on TikTok Shop. So what they end up doing is they make a bundle or an offer that has like an artificial discount. So imagine this like sold separately, like it's 3 items sold separately. It's $100. It's selling on TikTok Shop exclusively for 49. Um, they
mm.
then are like going and trying to break even on that transaction. The reason for this is because they see what did you call it, Sean? This like lift that happens.
Spillover commerce. Yeah, spillover
Spillover
commerce.
commerce. They see that lift occur across all the other channels that they're selling through. So they see that on Amazon, they see that on Shopify. And so really what's occurring is they're basically getting free media that then
Hmm.
goes and like increases the branded search across all of these other platforms. So you'll see spikes within the branded search on Google Search Console for the brand name. You'll see, spikes for brand name searches within like Amazon. You'll see, more visits go to the website directly. And so really effective way to kind of do this action is using something like that. But again, it's gotten to a place now where you have to be really strategic. You used to be able to just like print, like if you had a high margin product and it was like, a one-time purchase, you could do that really effectively. The biggest learning I took away from him is the media is really important. The product has to be built to have like a viral moment, if that makes sense. So he's always looking for stuff. He makes his own brands as well, but he's always looking for stuff that has like a weird application process because it just creates like content that's perfect. Like I spray foam across my face and then like that is like it makes like a, like a skin that I peel off. Stuff like that where it's like very like engaging to consume. Those are the things that work the best, or things that fit into routines. They work really well also, where it's like my daily routine. And then, you're basically, showing that. Anyways, yeah, just
Yeah,
a random, strategy that I've seen be incredibly effective for ecom companies. So
yeah. And just for the audience, spillover commerce, what we're specifically talking about is, like Cody said, if you can just even break even on the media on a demand generation platform, the entire thesis, well, the thing we observed, it's not really a thesis anymore, it is that Amazon is the bottom of the funnel for the internet, at least when it comes to e-commerce. And so what ends up happening is somebody sees a product and wants it, but they may not buy on a platform they don't trust. Not everyone trusts TikTok Shop. Not everyone trusts the shipping, the returns process, to be frank, the credit card processor, but they trust Amazon. And so That's why you see such a big spillover onto both your website, but then also onto the Amazon platform. And that's really the entire idea behind spillover commerce. Now, we have found that you don't necessarily have to do it with TikTok Shop. We found it being more consistent. No big peaks, but more consistent if you use meta ads. But the general thesis is the same. And to be honest, TikTok Shop, the virality there, if you have the right product, is absolutely bananas. So that's a huge valuable hack. Thank you so much, Cody.
Yeah, no, totally. I think just to like drill down on this too, like this idea
Yeah.
of free media that's break even is like really what you're looking for. You're just trying to
Mhm.
identify arbitrage wherever it exists for that. And that's like kind of the opportunity now with all of this, especially like anything that you're doing with AI is like if I can get that discovery to break it. Again, this is for specific company types though, right? Like if you have a repeat, like I'm always looking at the unit economics of an organization and being like, okay, like, what's basically my CAC to payback period and the customer lifetime value, and just doing that math backwards, right? Or doing that math up and down to figure out like what the composition needs to be. But then your job is like anybody that's focusing on distribution is where can I get, media at the cheapest cost basically to, create my lowest CAC or break even CAC because I know the customer lifetime value of this individual is going to be X over their lifespan as purchasing from us.
Yeah. Oh, that's so smart. The fact that you're reverse engineering it is just like you're really setting up a game that you know you can win. And I think that's incredibly intelligent. So yeah, highly recommend everyone check that out.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Sean. Yeah, yeah. What was
Now
next
you
on the
brought up
agenda?
yeah, so you brought up another hack when we were offline. And I was like, dude, like and some of the stuff I'm like, I can't even believe this is a thing. So do you want to jump into the next one? I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking about the TikTok accounts that are basically like AI avatars.
Yes, I had no idea about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is a strategy that a lot of people it's basically calling like content farms. So the idea here is you create like, hundreds of TikTok accounts that are posting daily and then making the content look like, whatever is like going viral currently for UGC. So the
Mm,
strategy that I've seen be really effective in like the last 2 weeks is basically creating these TikTok accounts and then doing slideshows where it's like a day in the life. So for example, like a day in the life of a corporate girly, and then you include the product within that slideshow. And then the actual photos are literally just like nano banana images that are like upscaled, and then they have like imagine a 6 to 10 slideshow of this like person going throughout their day, and then the product
mhm,
is included within the slideshow, and then they do a text overlay like that's basically like on top of the image of like
mhm,
whatever's happening. So that's the actual like media application. In practice, how do you actually do this? Like if I just go and spin up 10 TikTok accounts on my single phone, there's no way I'll get reach. So what you have to do is you basically make like I have friends that do this. So if people want this, just reach out. I'm happy to make an intro to you. I'm not going to say what the name is publicly because they asked me not to, but
mhm,
basically what they do is they create it's basically a VPN that tunnels into an eSIM, and they make it look like it's like a mobile device that's based out of the US. And they then go and
mhm,
they have that like account, that TikTok account on that mobile device, like scroll like it's like brain rotting itself, right? And then they can go and schedule out media across those like phones, like from a single platform that they've built. So how this ends up
mm,
functioning is you go like, for example, I buy 10 phones, 10 accounts a month from them. I can schedule
mhm,
2 posts a day. So I can do 20 posts a day. So over a month, I can do 600 posts. And basically I just go and, use AI to generate these slideshows and then schedule these out to the platform. But yeah, with that though, the whole game is basically like trying to get the cheapest like CPM or cost per thousand impressions that you can get. I've seen it in the range of like $1.50. Just to give context, the CPM on TikTok right now is about like $9 is the average. It's like 6 to 10, depending on the category that you're in. But the thing that you see with this is basically if I can get a CPM under, what I would pay on TikTok normally, that's like the game that you can play. And this is why people are doing this. So uh, again, the whole strategy here is I'm trying to create as much branded search reach as possible. This is actually my whole like goal for 2026, like with my own company. Like I don't care about literally anything else except for branded search. this is how
Mm.
people discover products now, is like they don't like, search out a category. They like, passively scroll into a thing, and then the algorithm is basically identifying your target customer for you. Like your job is to make media that like it will get distributed to your target customer for that brand discovery. And so with that in mind though, I'm just trying to create media that basically will make them go search for my company name. So this is like this is my main metric of success right now for like Graft as an example. Like I literally have a dashboard that's tracking branded search month over month for like through
Mhm.
Google Search Console. And all I'm looking at is like how much is that increasing, based off of the campaigns I'm running. Because it's very defensible as well. Like, and e-com's a
Mm.
cutthroat industry, right? It's very hard
Yeah.
to like go like for a generic keyword, you're going to be competing in the pits for it. It's very hard for another brand to like pull somebody from like if somebody searches out a brand, it's
Mhm.
very hard to get them to pull to another brand in a category when they're searching specifically for that brand name. You own that like top of mind, that mental real estate. It's just hard to pull out. And how I always think about this is like, name, like as many lip balm companies as you can imagine, right? It's like,
Yeah.
cool, I've got
Yeah.
chapstick and Burt's Bees. So everybody only gives so much mental energy, like mental space for
Mhm.
each category that like exists in their mind.
Mhm.
It's very hard to like, if that brand name starts to own that category, that mental real estate in people's mind, it's very hard to dislodge that as another brand. It's very hard to like pull that away. So it's this defensibility moat that you create doing this process.
That is so smart. And I couldn't agree more. As someone who primarily helps Amazon brands, one of the things that I found be really, really challenging is if you get into a niche and that niche is really dominated by one brand and that brand has a lot of branded search. And that's actually, we've used that to displace other bestsellers on Amazon because somebody did it to us first. They basically just spent a ton of money on branded traffic or generated excess branded traffic from outside of the Amazon platform onto the Amazon platform and use that to get our bestseller badge from us. And so once we realized that, it kind of formed the basis for how we implement spillover commerce now, which is so cool because you no longer have to fight people for these big keywords where you're paying $10 a click for a $14 product. Like it's just this like really, really amazing thing. But I'm blown away that you got these different hacks that you're using. But I think they're only worth it if you can actually track them, and you're only going to be able to get to this point if you can justify spending the money or justify taking the action. How are you using Graph to track this stuff? Because this is crazy.
Yeah, so Graft is like basically how it functions is it plugs into your data sources and like you can use it to create these like visualizations. So we were talking about Looker Studio and how like painful it is to like learn as an application. This is like one of the main points, right? It's like so how, for example, the clients that we have that like use this in the Amazon ecosystem, they plug in their paid ads and they plug in their like Seller Central account, like their Amazon ads and their Seller Central account. And then what we can do is basically like these things that were impossible, like within Seller Central. So like right now, a campaign that we're running is they're trying to basically like map out their subscription revenues. Like this is like the big focus for this client is like, can I look at
Yeah.
the like acquisition costs and then the subscription revenue and also do like forecasting for the year based off of like, can I look at churn? Can I look at all of these numbers that like in the platform are really hard to
Mhm.
like understand and calculate for these like buy and save like transactions. So like this is something
Mm.
that we can do, right? Like because we're plugging into the raw data. So fundamentally, like how this works or functions is like we plug into like Amazon Seller Central or your Amazon ads, it's the data pipeline that's pulling all of that data, it syncs on an hourly basis into our data warehouse. We build and maintain the data warehouse for you. So you don't have to think about like managing it, data, like, like data governance, data cleaning, etc. And
Mhm.
then we have created an agent that understands the underlying like map of that data, like tabular data. So just to give context as an example, like Facebook ads alone has 42 tables and like imagine hundreds of rows of data within it as a data source, right? So we basically have to
Yeah.
teach the agent to understand, okay, what are all these tables? How do all the tables interact and relate? And then what is all the column data that's in those tables? And so we basically built out a system that allows for the agent to understand that and then also connect that to other data sources. So when I say, hey, like show me paid ad spend on iOS devices on Google Ads and Facebook ads as a line chart, it can then go do those joins across the data sources as well. So it understands the data source, it understands the tables in the data source, it understands the columns in the data source, and then it also understands how the data sources relate to each other, so you can like combine that together. So in this Amazon ecosystem, you can combine like your Amazon seller, your Amazon ads data with your seller central data, and look at that like in a single a single chart, a single dashboard, etc. So that's kind of like the core like fundamental principles, is like basically like you have these campaigns that you're running or whatever your activities are, and then this is just a
Mhm.
way to do it. How we see a lot of companies using it is like, just a lot of them just want to like ask it questions, and especially like for our biggest client that's on the Amazon side, like they do they do client services, right? So they are they show the client information, the client has follow-up questions, and then what
Mhm.
happened right now is like the person that is running running that client, they're going and they're building out dashboards manually, and like that's hours of work that they're spending. So now instead, what they can do is client asks a follow-up, like they show a dashboard, client asks a question, and like in real time in the background, they can have a conversation with Graft that basically gives them
Mhm.
the answer to the client question while they're on the call. It doesn't take them hours to build out, those visualizations or those follow-ups. And so it creates this like, data, like, again, it's what I'm trying to do is basically put a data analyst in every person's pocket. And this comes from like most organizations don't, like, even if an org has a data team, right? Like have a data
Mhm.
engineer, they have a data analyst, or they have a data scientist, right? What always happens is those people's time, like the bandwidth of those individuals, of the data engineer, is always focused on finance or like whatever the CEO's like, like pet project is at that moment. Those always get the
Yeah.
priority within the backlog, within the priority list of that individual. So now you're a GTM specialist, right? Or you're like, owning this channel. You have
Yeah.
a data request, and like you basically like have to wait for you to get this answered. Like for example, I there's this e-com company that we worked with the SEO manager, created about 20% of their total top line revenue a month was coming from organic search, right? His process to get answers to his questions about his data was, I submit a request. They take 3 to 5 business days to respond. And then when I have a follow-up question, it's another 3 to 5 business days. He's like, it's just not worth it for me. So the core origin of this is like, can I basically eliminate that, where it's, you can jump into this, ask it questions, drill down, and
Mhm.
really I think the magic of this is like, you don't have to learn the product, and it's also like flexible. Like if you look at like any of these like no code like dashboard building tools, there's only
Yeah.
so much that it can do, and maybe it gets you 80% of the way there, right? But the last 20%, it's just like incapable of making that customization. And with like what we do, like you can go just like so deep. Like I can be like, okay, cool, show me ROAS at the account level. Okay, show me at the
Mhm.
campaign level. Show me at the ad group level. Show me at the ad level, like all the way down to that layer. And I can just drill all the way down and then zoom all the way back up within a single platform. And that's really the flexibility of it. And like why I'm super excited about it, and like, super excited about our servicing our customers, is because it enables them to do, basically make the like turn their raw data into information, which is like the only way to make good decisions, especially now in this like post AI world, where even more and more data is being created because the velocity is like so much faster for the content creation and what you're doing.
That is even, I think I've been checking out all your stuff. I've been checking out Graft. I'm even more impressed now than I was before. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
Oh
pretty
my
exciting,
goodness.
man. I think it gets really interesting, especially for e-com companies when they're doing multi-channel approaches. So like, when you're trying, so like, for example, we connect into Amazon ads, into like Amazon Seller Central, into your Shopify, your Klaviyo, your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your TikTok ads, like,
Mm.
all of these like sources that you could, like as a founder, like you can basically see this bird's eye view of your entire organization, right? Which is like historically super hard, and just like
Yeah.
understanding the pulse of your company. The bigger value add, though, is that you can go and create like KPI or OKR dashboards for your executive team, and be like, hey,
Mm.
like, here's your measurement of success. Go and optimize for this. Like, that's all you're measured to. And then basically
Yeah.
they go and they execute on that. And like, it's funny. We just onboarded a software company, and like they've been trying to build these dashboards for the last like 8 months, like 8 to 9 months. But again, it's taking away engineering, like team, like bandwidth from the core
Yeah.
product. And so for us, it's like, yeah, we, in 2 days, we spin out their dashboards for their entire management team. And like, they've been spending 8 months trying to figure out like, okay, how we're going to do this and make it so that it doesn't have to be like this massive management, problem that the engineering team has to focus their energy on. So, anyways, just examples of how we're seeing this used. But the real like magic is when you get all of your sources in, because you can just do these. It's like analysis across all of it. And the agent is early. Like there's only like it has its limitations, right? But like long term, the idea here is like it's going to understand your underlying data better than you ever could, and like be
Mhm.
able to like proactively find insights for you, like based off of your actions that you're doing. And so you show up on Tuesday and it's like, hey, I've been analyzing this for the last 2 weeks. We found this insight. You should think about this as like, or like we have a Shopify, or a client that uses Shopify. They have like 10,000 SKUs, and they're like, we don't know which like cups are selling that are 7 ounces, like 7 ounce cups. Like we literally like have no idea, but we know we're selling a lot of them, but we don't know which ones. We don't know like what so like just doing that analysis of like another
Mhm.
example is like what products sell like well together. So basically trying to increase average order value. This is
Mhm.
something else that we're doing where we're basically like analyzing their historical data for like, okay, here's the percentage likeliness that XYZ product is bought with product A. We can say, okay, product, X gets bought 22%, product Y gets bought, 31%, and product C is 13%. Okay, you should focus trying to upsell product, B whenever this product A is being
Mhm.
purchased, right? So it's like those types of things that are basically, I mean, it just drives like instant revenue, right? When you can get in and start to understand this. And I think for a lot of companies, I mean, we just onboarded a $10 million a year Amazon company, or sorry, $10 million a year like Shopify company. And like, they're just like, it's kind of just vibes, man. Like that's how they're making decisions. And so like, we're like, cool, like we can come in and augment your team and basically like, give this to everybody that's on your org. So
God. Okay, Cody, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. If we may just have to do a part two, I am
yeah, man,
blown
happy
away.
to.
I'm so yeah.
Last thing
Yeah,
I'll leave for
please.
you guys. I think there's a huge opportunity on the Amazon space to do like affiliate content for your own products. So it's extremely easy to build websites now, right? So for
Mhm.
example, I just built our AI for dataanalysis.com. I didn't build this, like Claude Code built it for me in the background. It wrote the entire article. It made the entire website. It deployed the entire website, and like now I'm just building backlinks basically to make this like URL rank. So right now, what's working really effectively to rank organically on Google is you go and you basically buy these what are called exact match domains. Like
Mhm.
AI for data analysis gets searched like it's something like 31,000 times a month is like the scale.
Mm.
Really competitive category, but I bought the domain for $10. I can go and I can like rank like this basically piece of content that is
Mhm.
promoting my product. And so what I'm imagining for e-com sellers is like, say you're in the category like natural deodorant or something, you can find all
Mhm.
the long tail keyword variations that people like, are searching for. And then you basically write up these like articles and or these websites at scale and ship them. So this is something that I like. It's basically doing affiliate for yourself, but instead of like having it be this massive time suck to build that content out, like this, you can just build this out now. Like you can build the entire website with these like AI agents. And just thinking about like how much surface area can you create online is like something that just to leave your audience for with like a final
Yeah.
thought for as they exit the show, that is something that like I would be just like, how can I like use all of this tooling to make as much surface area around the brand as possible, because the more
Mm.
surface area I have as well, the more likely that I show up with an AI search also, right? Like if you're like
Wow.
best natural deodorant for female runners, right? Super long tail, like you can make a piece of content that's specifically dedicated and focusing on that, and then you include your product within that piece of content. And so anyways, just another thought for you.
Dude, okay. I mean, the bonus value bit was even a banger. Cody, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah. So I'm active on Twitter and LinkedIn, and then graph.com is the website. We'll probably put those in the show notes, so go check those out there. Love talking to
Yeah,
companies
definitely.
and learning the like problems that they're facing. it's really interesting, man. Like we're starting to call them insights campaigns. Like, we're finding like a lot of companies, like there's two sides of like the spectrum where people exist within their data. It's either they like know the questions they want to ask, but have no way of like getting answers to them, or they have no idea what questions they should be asking. And like, they're like, please help us like define what, those questions should be. But it's the people that know what they want to ask. We're calling them insights campaigns. And they basically
Mm,
come to us and they're like, hey, like we are trying to, I know if I figure out, X, I'm going to increase like my company's revenue. Can you help me do that? And then we just go and basically, like use the platform to go find that information. And I think that this is like really fascinating to see starting to happen like in the wild. And like as a CEO founder and like anybody that's listening, that's that like this is a really effective, like this tooling is now enabling like the velocity of your ability to understand your business like at an even deeper and higher level than you ever could previously. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty exciting times to see what's going on. But that's where you can find me. I hope you enjoyed today.
yeah, I graphed.com, graphed.com.
Yep, graph.com. Yeah, exactly.
Cody, this has been a
We
value
got that
bomb
domain for
episode.
10 grand and I still don't know how we did it. Yeah, when we were like going to start this company, we were looking for what we were going to name it and we stumbled upon it. I literally bought it in like, I think it was like 3 minutes after seeing it.
Wow.
So it's pretty funny. But, anyways, thanks for having me,
Yeah.
Sean.
Thanks for being here. And for everyone else, until next time.